Well, as a lot of people can probably relate to, driving at night's not that fun, even though sometimes you got to go out and do stuff. So I will say I have a whole new level of confidence and willingness to go out at night when I'm not the one responsible for seeing everything. And this vehicle clearly has good night vision. Obviously, it's 360. And so what we need to do right now is go to the grocery store, which this is just the time to get that done this weekend for weekend shopping. So I volunteered to do that. Let's see. Hey, Kit, let's go to Whole Foods over on Six Forks.
Got it. Navigating to Whole Foods Market on Six Forks Road in Raleigh. It's 5.5 miles away, about 9 minutes.
Now, the parking lots have been, to me, the biggest unknown because I've been driving this vehicle now for about a week. Well, I should say riding, I guess. Been riding in it for about a week and just passed 250 miles in it today. Of those 250 miles, 200, or actually of the 255 miles, 250 of them have been self-driving. So 98%. So pretty amazing that you can buy a new car and have only actually driven it for 2% of the mileage so far. But that's the situation we're in right now. And I felt totally comfortable with that. I mean, I watched videos of it. I had never ridden in a Tesla before, and I had barely even sat in one and didn't really know how they worked, didn't really pay much attention to it. I love the technology. In fact, I used to work for a company that would sell data services to companies trying to develop self-driving technology and computer vision. So I know a good bit about the development process and how companies tend to do that for this kind of technology. We never had Tesla as a customer. They always wanted to do their own thing, their own way, and you can see it's been paying off for them. But my point is that uh, to be able to get this car and have the confidence that it's going to do what it needs to do just from some videos was pretty surreal. Now, as a kid, I think my favorite show of all the shows I loved as a kid, there was A Team, there was G.I. Joe. I went through a He Man phase. Nothing compared to Knight Rider. Knight Rider was the show. I mean, I made my own kit out of anything I could get my hands on. In fact, at one point, it was just a big ass cardboard box, and I had dials drawn in there, and I would imagine it talk back to me. Now, see, here's what I like. It is making a move that I would definitely make. Now, I like to go all the way in the left-hand lane, so I'm going to tell it to get in the left-hand lane. It accelerated right out of that ramp and started passing people. I've got it in Mad Max mode right now. That's exactly how I would drive. You can see it just went up to 15 over the speed limit. That's not that much faster than the cars around me. Speed limit right here is 70 miles per hour, and usually you're going to be driving at least 80 if you're driving in the left lane in this section of road. So it popped itself right up to 85, and now we're cruising in the left lane, which this is basically how I would be driving. It fits my driving style. I must be a Mad Max driver, and I didn't know it. Sometimes I'll back it down a little bit to hurry or standard. The only time I use chill mode on the speed profiles is in my neighborhood, just to make sure that it really creeps through there respectfully. But I do think the speed profiles are a really smart way to give the supervisor the chance to have decision making that they're comfortable with. Right now, this is exactly how I would be driving through here. So anyway, as I was saying, Knight Rider was definitely my favorite show as a kid. And to me, the idea that you could talk to this car and it could drive you wherever you wanted and do everything for you, not to mention turbo boost through the air, was just the most insanely cool thing you could imagine. In fact, to this day, I keep a little KITT Matchbox car on my desk just because I love it so much. When I saw the videos of what Teslas were able to do with the new full self-driving software, I was like, this is it. We're here. It's ready for prime time. I was well aware that Tesla is going through its development process from its whole network for all these years. And I'd kind of been, just casually keeping tabs on it. Not really ever seeing myself as somebody that would even buy a Tesla. But when I saw a few videos of what it was doing, I watched this one video of this guy who was having it navigate right through the heart of Manhattan. And when I saw what that vehicle did driving through New York City, I was sold. That was it. And I made the decision that day that I wanted to buy a Tesla. And I didn't buy it instantly. I looked, at the website of the configurations. I went to the Model 3 to see how much the price was, saw the lease credit, and I'm like, I can totally do this. I'll sell my car, which I have a Toyota Camry. I was like, I'll sell my car and I'm getting a Tesla. Now, I didn't just do that impulsively because, of course, it's a family decision. But I'll say this speaks to the Tesla purchase process. So I'm sitting out at dinner with my wife and my kids, and I'm telling her why I think Tesla's amazing, these videos I saw, it's incredible. And I tell her why I want to get one and I want to make some of these videos. And she gives me her blessing. I got the green light. She says it's because she was in a good mood that day, but I'll take it. And so she gives me the green light, and maybe 5 minutes later, we're finishing up dinner. I pull out my phone back onto the website where I was, make sure the configuration is still everything I wanted with the silver color and the premium interior. And I just hit buy now, and it said Apple Pay. I said approve. I think it was like $250 to pay for the order. And okay, so we got two Camrys both signaling over here. It was waiting for the other one, and it let the other one go too. Now we got somebody pulling in, possibly aggressive, doesn't know what it's going to do. The car hesitated, but it's going to pass it. That was good. So I hit the buy button, and it just occurred to me, I just bought a car with Apple Pay while I'm sitting here eating dinner. Now that's amazing that you can do that. And I will say the order process was pretty darn smooth and convenient. Like, I didn't like that they forced me to pick it up by December 31st because I was going to be out of town, but they had numbers to make, and I get it. I can relate to that. And it all worked out at the end of the day. So I ended up getting the Tesla on December 30th and then not being able to drive it because I had to go out of town. But I've been driving it since I got back in town, and it's been phenomenal. Well, I've been riding in it. I'm trying to get out of the habit of that. Also, you're not supposed to call it a gas pedal, I guess. So that's been interesting. But the purchase experience and being able to do everything through the app, you put your insurance card in there, you take a picture of your driver's license, you review the lease agreement. I decided to do a lease because I didn't want to take on any debt right now. And the whole process was seamless. Once I actually got to the Tesla dealership for the pickup, it was it was a great experience. I mean, they took care of everything, and I was out of there. Now, it's going to turn into Whole Foods in here, probably the back way here, and go through this other parking lot. I'm curious to see how it does it, because it's possible to go in to the right over here, but I see on the map it's basically going to route in this way, which is, on another main road. See, now that's another interesting thing that it won't do. It won't take shortcuts. So like back there was a parking lot that if I had forced it to turn into and then turned FSD back on, it would have worked. But it's not, due to the maps and the routing, it's not going to just cut through parking lots on its own, which is fine. I don't really mind that. If I'm driving and I'm feeling impatient, I'm like, well, let me cut through here and get where I'm freaking trying to go. But I found that I just don't feel that way when the car is driving itself. It's like I'm so much more relaxed. It's like a whole different lower stress level. Now, here we're going to park it in here, and I want to park somewhere where there's not going to be somebody next to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate, and now you can see I've got my parking spots lighting up. Here's another Tesla. He gets it. So I'm going to let it park there. I'm going to hit my parking space and let it back in. Now there's somebody waiting on me. I had somebody get mad at me the other day because I was trying to back in and they got impatient in the parking lot. Most people are not going to be in anything but impatient mode, and they don't want to wait on people. But I guess that's just how it goes. All right, we're at the grocery store, so we can continue the conversation. But that was a flawless drive. Other than picking the parking spot, um, flawless. I try, and you don't have to pick the parking spot. You can let it decide where it wants to park. It'll do a good job of that. It usually doesn't get right up too close, but it will park just fine on its own. I just would prefer to park the car myself in the spot I want, where it's not going to be too close to another car, because I'm not trying to turn my doors into Swiss cheese like my Camry was.
Nice Dynamites.